Good morning, Sheila. Guten Morgen an alle. Vielen Dank für Ihr Interesse, für das Künstlerinnengespräch. Wir haben gedacht, es kommen vielleicht 20 Leute. Jetzt sind es ein bisschen mehr. Das freut uns natürlich sehr. Und etwas, was mir gestern aufgefallen ist während der Eröffnung, ich habe noch nie eine so leise Eröffnung erfahren dürfen. Es waren, glaube ich, etwa 250 Personen und eigentlich alles war im Flüsterton. Vielleicht merken Sie jetzt meine Stimme und wie die Schallwellen reagieren. Wir sind in einem Eisenbetonbau, aber eigentlich passiert da etwas völlig anderes. Und das gehört eigentlich auch zu dieser Arbeit und zu dieser Installation von Sheila Hicks. Die Akustik wurde völlig verändert. Also eigentlich dieser große Berg in der Mitte ist eigentlich wie eine Matratze, eine Art Schallmatratze, die eigentlich alles abprallen lässt. Und eigentlich dieses Spiel, das sonst hier herrscht, dass die Schallwellen rumbouncen in alle Richtungen, ist plötzlich alles beruhigt. I really like the peaceful atmosphere of the sonic landscape. So you created a visual landscape, but actually also a sonic landscape that is very strong.
So we shouldn't speak.
That's a new format of artist talk, the silent artist talk. Why not?
The only reason we ask you to come with the pretext that we're going to talk is so that instead of talking, you look. You're invited to come and look, walk, feel, and you don't need words to tell you what's happening, because you will take it in your own way, in your own moment, in your own references, and you'll respond automatically like this one. Because the words can just mystify you, confuse you, take you off on little trips that are analogous but maybe deviations. Last night someone said, when I asked what's this meeting about, they said textile. Oh, that's going to be difficult, because where is the textile? You see any textiles here? You're all wearing textile. Is there any textile in the exhibition? So the textile is your visit, that you are here. All of you are somehow wearing, somewhere, somehow, textile. And you chose what you're wearing today, maybe. And you decided what color you were wearing today. You looked out the window. Maybe that influenced you, your environment, your mood, your breakfast. So this is an assembly. I see here, big assembly of textile. Do you want to talk about each other? You want to exchange ideas? Do you want to explain why you chose that textile? Or maybe you don't know. It's just intuitive. The whole textile world, from the time of this little one who's running around, the whole textile world is intuitive. Because usually you think people are selective. They go to stores, they spend money, and they buy the textile they want to wear. But then when they get up in the morning after being out all night, their eyes are closed and they just grab any textile and put it on, protecting for the weather, or for the eventual weather. So much of this selectivity that we pretend that we have of wearing the right purple coat and standing next to the neighbor with the emerald green sweater, which is perfect for me in front of this panel. But I would remove this confusing blouse here that is chaotic over to the left. I will compose my composition. It's not that I don't like your blouse, but it goes much better now. where you are. She went so far as to make sure her hair works with the other fiber in the room. She made an effort, and we have to applaud. How snow to have this beautiful color, like a halo. She's hiding her hair, but she's gray, and her position in front of the tower is correct. This is an installation. Some people think it's an exhibition. I say, no, let's not be pretentious. It's an installation. He gave the opportunity to come in this amazing and unique space, which you all know. Maybe this is the first time for some people here. Do you know this space? You've been here before?
Yes.
Is this the first time for somebody? Yeah. Okay, some innocent people walked in. Yes, because if you walk into this space, you're emotionally threatened because it's a very powerful space. And it's also powerful because it has associations. You can see it's a historical landmark, architecture. Who is going to have the nerve to invade this space? Do you come with a few paintings or a few drawings or a few photographs and hang them around like we did on the walls? People are just going to walk by because the architecture outdoors too is coming into the space. So it's an indoor space, taking into account an outdoor space and telling you, you may even get on a train that passes here and go right out the door into another world, into another space. So you come with some sacks. Come with some sacks, and you dump them in the space. And you give the space another acoustical presence. I'm not speaking too loudly, am I?
No, it's
Because the acoustics are fantastic here. Maybe because I'm standing here. What was it like before she came?
Before she came, it was very bouncy. The sound waves were going crazy, jumping up and down from side to side, all over the place. And when it was crowded for openings, you couldn't hear your own word because it would become very loud. So she softened down the whole atmosphere of big gatherings of people.
Can you imagine that this is what's making it possible for me to be heard by you in this vast, big space? It's this, acoustically. Huh? You'd say, well, it's taking in our sounds and taking in the noise, but it's causing us to be able to communicate. So architects, when they do architecture, and they think about auditoriums, they think about boardrooms, they think about meeting places, why do they call me on the phone? Sheila, we have an opportunity. I say, are you sure it's an opportunity? It might be a challenge. It might be a problem. It might be to solve a problem. Because in our society today, one of the biggest problems is the problem of dealing with sound and acoustics and constant rumbling and constant noise. So people are seeking quiet space, especially in their own homes. Or coming today, look how quiet it is in here. And I see buses going by. You don't hear them. I don't feel the metro. Where I live in Paris, when I live in Paris, I walk from the kitchen to the living room, and the room is trembling because the metro has just passed. Metro Odeon has a life of its own. So in Paris, everyone lives with constant tremblement de terre. Small, minor earthquakes are coming. You can feel things moving. Okay. Or maybe it's all the immigrants who are coming. Maybe it's all the people living in the street and taking textiles out of other people's garbage that they throw away, and building tents and building homes in the street. And then the metro passes, and all these textiles in the street, the alleys where people are living, tremble also. We used to think when the drapery was moving that was beautiful, but now you see things moving that are not so beautiful. You know, people are living inside these improvised structures that are made out of bâche de plastique, remnant textiles. Things that we're throwing away are housing other people. And they're dressing in the most incredible, inventive ways because they're wearing things that they're finding. You're all very well turned out. You've all selected the shoes that go in the right thing with the right place, and the shoes are very carefully selected. I'm living in the center of Paris. Walk down the street and try and find somebody who looks like they put it together intentionally, not just with what they were finding and improvising, and watching the traffic and watching the illegal motorcycles who are moving in between everywhere. We're here in a very peaceful little moment, so I'll shut up and let you enjoy this installation, and then we talk again. But look at it in terms of an installation in a very secretive place. Who would think of coming to St.Gallen and finding a place like this? It's very strange. What are you doing here?
I must say mostly I'm enjoying myself, which is great because I'm at work and while I'm enjoying myself, so that's a great constellation. But I must say, I think you speak from your heart, and I think it's so important to approach art in different ways than just intellectually understanding what it is about and trying to make sense. I think art makes sense to a certain degree, but eventually it's a lot about gut feelings, and it's a lot about approaching artworks, being near to artworks, and that's why I like this format so much, because we spend time with the artworks. And I think that really makes a difference. I mean, normally we come into an exhibition, we try to recognize things. Yes, very nice. It's like 11:23, the yellow umbrella. It's like our scripts. It's beautiful. Yeah.
You planned this.
I planned this, I admit. What I really like is about, looking at some point, you don't recognize things anymore. You don't look for something, but you just look. You just fall into looking. And that's such a good state to be around art when you start to fall into looking. That's also why we really wanted to have this table here with the books to invite people to spend time here, and that it becomes your study place, or that you just, you look at the artwork without knowing that it's here, and you forgot that you are in the exhibition, and you look at art. I always thought collectors are privileged because they're allowed to brush their teeth in front of their art if they want to, or just living with art. I think it's a beautiful concept because you're not in this framing of the exhibition. You just kind of maybe let go and you see an artwork with other eyes. And that's what really happened while you were talking. For me, you became almost one with your artwork. You blended totally in from the vibrance.
Should we ask him to come out, the one who's in? She came back.
That's the second loop.
She's going to come in.
I think so.
Sheila, I think when I look at your work, it seems to me like an incredible journey. That you started off sometime in the 1950s, and I think there were very little reasons that you would end up with this amazing work, and with this vocabulary of invention and of contemporary art. Like, you really contributed textile installations that were unseen before, and you started from a completely different point. You started actually as a student on a stipend going to Chile and to other South American countries, and just being attracted by the textile richness of these pre-Columbian cultures.
Painting and drawing and photographs. And then picking up threads when I was going through villages.
You were an abstract painter. Were you a happy painter?
No one is ever a happy painter. They're always looking and suffering and looking and suffering.
And how about fabric, like working with fiber and fabric? Does that change anything, or regarding happiness?
Let's see, because I have a way to go.
Yeah.
I'm just beginning.
Yeah.
Because I don't have opportunity to show in spaces like this very often. Usually it's in white boxes, architecture museums.
Yeah.
You know, take a plane, take a train, go into a certain city, a certain box, a certain museum, and then figure out what to put in that box. This is not the case.
Turn around.
How much did you charge? Part of the show.
Only a little bit.
You're lucky. Keep the umbrella. Can you walk towards you? From London? Why you have to go to London?
I actually went to London for something else. Oh, excuse me. I thought I was meant to walk.
Oh, okay. Go, you're a help to us. Is there anyone who has something that we can't stand to look at? Look around and see your neighbors. Who are we going to evict? It's a very harmonious group, no? Nobody has a poncho with lightning streaks. So people here are very well behaved. They're dressing in an anonymous way, mostly anonymous. Is that on purpose or just from boredom? The men, do they dare wear colors here?
Well,
Do you have a very colorful wardrobe?
Not really. Conditioning.
Yes, it looks like a very harmonious community, and there's a sort of code that nobody is walking in except she has the nerve to walk in with this.
Okay.
Very brave, no?
Yeah, I get sometimes not nice looks. Where should I?
De dónde viene?
Where should I?
Bien. Aquí, frente.
Aquí.
¿De dónde viene?
Soy de Madrid.
De Madrid. Huh? Do people dress like this in Madrid?
Oh yes, yeah.
And the men too?
Less often, perhaps, but they also
With the
wear
orange
colors.
sweater. Come. You know her?
No.
Is she in competition with you?
No.
It's okay?
Of course.
Yeah, but we lost you. You see, you were very outstanding in the horizon. But now you're in front of this. You see?
This is going.
So she's winning the game. Why is she winning the game? With this brilliant orange, which has an impact. Huh? This is the way, I'm just taking you on a trip of the way I compose, the way I look, and the way I think, and the way I observe. You see what happened? And who else would like to volunteer? Interference. The man with the camera. Please come. He's a visual. His whole life depends on his eyes. He's a visual. He's not a musician listening. Where are you going to point your camera in this show, in this exhibition? What are you going to choose?
Everything.
Oh, it's hard.
No, one after the other.
Which one first?
It's difficult. I think when I walk in front, I did it actually this morning. So I filmed every piece, and I walked in front, so I started.
You ignored this one, right?
No, I didn't ignore. But it wasn't the first thing. It was actually the last thing, because it's
Okay.
the biggest.
Okay. And did you look inside this one?
No.
Can you open for him? Okay. Can you take a photograph inside? Look how the threads and the lines move. Huh? Look how it takes a different shape. Pull again. Okay. Maybe you can see all the way through to the window and see the red one in the back.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's see if we can see the red one. Can you pull in the back? Okay. Pull. Oh, look what's happening. There's a secret inside. I didn't even know about the secret. And now it's a solid. There it became an open spaghetti, sort of. Okay. Now it becomes a sort of solid, and it competes with him. This one competes with this. So when you walk in from here, this room, besides the floor, you're aware that there's a tension between these two columns, the two white columns. And he decided to make a soft column and a hard column. That's a marvelous thing when you think hard, soft, soft, hard. You can't do that with painting. You can do illusion of hard, edge, soft, geometric, fluid. But with this kind of material, you can go hard, soft, compact, open, multiple elements. Imagine, turn on a machine and let it run overnight, and you may have 40 meters of the same textile running, pliable plane, coming out of a machine that's just weaving at right angles, two networks of lines, two networks of threads. And then you get textiles. And then you take the scissors and you start cutting and modeling this pliable plane, and it becomes round, it becomes a skirt, it becomes material that you can use and wear and put a volume inside. And depending on how much you're eating, it's going to be how big the volume is going to be. This one is growing. Yeah, so come and show your sweater. Anybody see a sweater with elbows like he has? Look at the lines, they go around the curves. And he's a very happy man. He's a friend from Paris. And the volume is increasing. And his sweater is expanding with him. It's perfect for this weather too. But to look at the elbows. Whoever looks at the elbows are wonderful. How do you get around an elbow that moves and make the pliable plane, the thread, move with it? Lots of research is going on now with people who are in the fashion industry. They're learning to do new things on the knitting machines. We think, oh, knitting, everybody knows knitting. It's just like flat, it's just scarves of knitting. But now they're doing all kinds of incredible engineering on the machine. jacquards, of course, but on knitting, how to go around curves and make the threads go around curves and come out in different ways and end up in strange places. Your turn.
Yes. Not always easy to take over after you, but I want to speak a little bit more about your relation to architecture, because it's, on one hand, it's an ongoing passion. Also, you developed, I mean, you studied not as a student, but as a related student with Louis Kahn at Yale University, who's one of the most important American architects. When you were in Mexico City, you befriended Luis Barragan, the great Mexican modernist slash postmodernist, and I'm really interested to know more, about your relationship to architecture. So obviously, you have a penchant and interest for even modernist architecture, but on the other hand, your work at an architectural scale is so different, and it's almost in contrast. I mean, if we look at this column, it's one of the earliest industrial iron concrete buildings in Switzerland. The ceiling is so thin, it's paper thin. So we are not allowed, and that's why this bar is in here, we're not allowed to put a single screw into the ceiling because the whole thing might come down and just fall down, destabilize. So it was this engineer spirit, of making paper thin concrete, which is pretty much in the thinking pattern of the modernist, of the great modernist architecture. Those people were the role models later for people such as Corbusier and so on. But it's this very rigid, rational architecture. I love Corbusier because he preached the word and he did something completely different, which made it more bearable, because he was so le poème de l'angle droit and so on. But I think you're not about le poème de l'angle droit, you have a completely other sense of poetry. But very often you're looking for the vicinity of architecture, you work with architecture in a very close way.
When I went to Mexico, it wasn't Barragan that interested me. I went to Mexico to see the architecture of Candela, Felix Candela. Where's the Spanish lady? No? See, Felix Candela, hyperbolic paraboloid. No. So, that's not Frank Lloyd Wright, huh?
No, definitely not.
Candela.
Candela.
And why did Candela, the Spaniard, I think he was from Madrid.
Yeah,
Why did he go? He had to leave because of Franco, but he and his brother went and formed Cubiertas Ala in Mexico City, and they got a job to do the gas stations out on the roads in Mexico, and they started making very experimental shapes like this. No, and you were talking about paper-thin ceilings. They were erecting scaffolding and constructing the most incredible, unusual, never before seen shapes that could house the car as it drives in. The car is driving down the road. It sees this amazing mirage. It's a gas station. They pull in, they fill their car with gas, but they don't leave because they're fascinated by the architecture of the gas station. And this was Candela. And there was a bulletin board in my school that said they were looking for people who wanted to do research and work on a film, documentary film, about experimental architecture. And I said to the young man in the next booth, we had Eva Hess in one booth, Ernest Boyer, John Roy, we were 10 students. Let's go to Mexico and go and check this out. Okay, let's pitch in and get a camera, get a Bolex or something so we can pretend we know what we're doing, like making films. Like the guy who's walking around here. Are you a real photographer or are you pretending?
I learn every day.
You went to school?
No.
You're self-taught?
Yeah.
Autodidact?
Yeah.
Fantastic. We are, every day, each of us has the potential to be autodidact and to teach ourselves something. Huh? So we go with this Bolex camera and we go running around looking for the Felix Candela gas stations, but we don't have a car, so we hitchhike. That's a good way to learn the language in Mexico. And then not to be just a girl alone, I have these guys with me. They're carrying the camera. I'm looking at the landscape, and I'm looking for candelas all over Mexico. And you see them in the books. Anyway, we do the film. And Candela is very pleased, he's very happy. And why is he in Mexico? Because he doesn't need a building permit. Everything you do in this city, I'm sure you need a building permit. If you make a garage, or one extra room for the new child arriving, don't you have to go and get a building permit?
Yes.
Even for an artwork in public space, you need a building permit.
Not in Mexico. So if you want to experiment and make mistakes that can become someday other than mistake, we're fine. You take a chance, go to Mexico, figure it out. That is what I did. Of course, I ended up going and living in Mexico then for about 5 years, and working with architects and working in the school with Matthias Gerritz. Stupid. But that's the way we learn, is the eyes looking, thinking, and watching, and trying. Try this. Which way can you put it on? This is amazing textile. Why is it doing these strange things? 3D, three-dimensional. There must be some kind of elastic or rubber or something inside. No. Couldn't be linen. Are you wearing linen today? No. Are you wearing wool? Are you wearing cotton?
Wool and cotton.
Are you wearing nylon?
I don't know.
Maybe underwear. Are you wearing acrylic? Are you wearing all of these new synthetic fibers?
Merino.
Most of you are. If you look, can you come? She. Can you come? Just for 1 minute. Should I get it? Thank you. Can you try this? Can you help me? Just walk with it. Thank you. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Now put your arms like this. Okay, let's go. Let's go. We can fly. Okay, good. Wonderful. Très hold up here. Good. Look. Thank you. Dankeschön. Thank you. Good. Take over. Turn it backwards.
Backwards.
Okay. Okay, good. Just take a walk around. And with the arms like this.
Okay.
And move the arm. You see the draping? Look at the fold. Look at the shadow. Look at the shadow. What is life without shadows? All of this fluorescent light we have, all of the red, all of the X, we all have the light. We have the range of the light. We don't see the sunlight. We don't see the light in color. We don't see the light fading. We have to light on all of the time. So we can also
Sure, we can. Give me 1 minute.
You don't mind once more?
Sure, if you want me to.
Very cooperative.
Will you join me?
Yes.
So, hier, bitte mal auf.
Can you hold? Can you hold her hand?
Das geht. Wow.
It's the Irish way. Yeah.
Turn you. Okay, ready? We're going to run. Okay, ready? We're going to run. The sound is nice, huh? In this room. And now we have the real light, and now we have shadows. And now look at this. With the light coming. This is a fishnet from Korea. No. I showed this in the museum in Seoul. Isn't it extraordinary? Does anybody know anything about dentelle in the city? Is this the lace town?
Yeah, not really. Embroidery.
Because in New York last month, I saw an exhibition on 86th Street in a museum, one of the important museums. And it was all about dentelle. And I walked in and it said everywhere on all the labels, it said St.Gallen, St.Gallen, St.Gallen. What's all this doing in New York? Then I opened the newspaper on Sunday, full page, New York Times. St.Gallen. Did you know this?
Bard College.
Yeah, the gallery on 86th Street had a fantastic show, and it was chosen as one of the best shows in New York this year, with one of the best catalogs. You should be very proud, in case you didn't know. It was wonderful. Everybody in New York knows about St.Gallen.
Thanks, I'm very happy.
Huh?
I'm very happy, thank you.
Yes, I remember you
her
from last
collection.
time.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You told me you were coming from Iran.
Yes.
Yes. And now?
Now, afterwards, you come and visit the textile museum here
Where?
today.
Has anybody here been to this museum?
Yes.
Are there some people who've never been? Can they come?
I mean, it's always open 7 days a week.
What are you showing now?
At the moment, there's one exhibition about quilts, because we just rechanged one exhibition, and on the 3rd of March, we're opening 100 Shades of White, a color and fashion.
Who chose the title?
The curator, together with the team.
Can you speak louder so they can hear?
Yeah, so it's the curator choosing the title together with the team.
What's the title?
100 Shades of White. So we show 100 objects in different shades of white made out of fabrics and textiles. And we tell the story about the color white.
Do the whites have different names?
If you're marrying, there are like 8 different white colors, which you know, like ivory or like off-white and real pure white. So there are different words for it.
Keep going with the names. What else?
I'm not the curator. I'm just the manager, so I don't know all the names by heart. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Anna? More names for white in German.
Eggshell.
Mm-hmm.
That is one.
Snow White.
Snow White.
What else?
Milk.
Milk white.
Milky White.
Glacier white.
Glacier White.
Paper white.
Paper White. Paper White or paper weight?
Paper white.
Okay.
It's a colorful white.
In Espanol? Blanco?
Blanco, help.
Blanco roto.
Blanco roto, sí. ¿Verdad? Blanco roto. Blanco roto.
¿Qué es blanco
Broken
roto?
white.
What is broken white?
Blanco roto is a little bit towards beige.
Like an off-white, creamy.
Dirty white?
No, broken white.
No, dirty is more gray, and broken is more towards a warm
White.
warm white. Yeah.
Fully.
How about cold white? Is there a cold white?
Blanco frío.
Sure, evening. In labs, you have cold white.
In the light.
For photography, you call it cold white.
Really? That's the name
Yep.
in German too?
Yep.
How do you say it?
Kaltweiß.
Oh, and there is nuclear white in Spanish. I just remember.
Blanco nuclear. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
For advertising of washing powder.
Yeah. Whiter than white.
Scary.
Radiation.
Yeah. The detergent that washes more white than white.
Starts to make it.
German we have also the Blüten white, so the blossom white.
But it means really clean.
Yeah.
Jolkweiß. Kalkweiß.
Does it have religious meaning?
Which one?
All these whites, they have religious associations?
One of them as well. It has.
Buddhism?
But we're also showing, of course, here in Europe, is the Catholic and the Christianity, because I mean, you have the monastery here as well. So we show a baptism, marriage, like that, how important
So
white.
marriage is white, right?
Here,
Marriage?
yes. In this country, yes.
And in Japan?
But I don't know. In India, where I lived, it's red.
Ah,
Marriage is the red.
white.
how about funeral?
Funeral here is black, but in India, it's white.
The symbolism of color. Symbolism of color. What does blue symbolize? Huh? You think of the water, no? And the sky, nature,
Endless.
the horizon. What does yellow symbolize? Sunshine, no?
Voice.
When you think of,
Nowadays, also jealousy. If you give somebody a yellow rose, it's jealousy.
jealousy?
It can also be voice. Yeah.
Can be poison? Are you kidding? And black, what does black symbolize?
Dead.
Huh?
Dead.
Why is he dressed in black? Most people here, most.
But it's not black, it's blue. This is also blue. Only the shoes are black. And you're beautiful.
In India, when you're a pilgrim, you wear black.
A pilgrim?
Yeah, you wear black in India. Especially for men in
What
South
is the
India.
color of the Swiss flag?
Red and white.
Red and white.
What does it mean? Why did they choose red? It's a very strong color. It's very affirmative. Blood, and what else?
Feeling, emotion.
Roses. I also say the rose.
Power. Strength.
What is the flag in Austria?
It's also black and white.
Red and white.
It's red and white.
Okay, look, can you please stand? Yes. Can you walk? Why did you choose red and white?
Because originally I'm from Austria, now I'm Swiss. I just wanted color.
Yes, but you chose specifically red and white.
No.
Can you justify this?
No, like you said, I just took something in
the closet.
Yeah, and then I wanted to add color, and I chose red.
Does everyone have something red in their closet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Red in your closet. When do you wear red?
When I want to be less formal, then with black.
Is your grandchildren?
No, grandchildren.
We dress the children in colors, you know. We always dress the children in colors. They choose their colors sometimes. As we grow up, we become more anonymous. Or we grow sort of attracted into the passepartout. I'm sorry, I'm being off track because I'm supposed to talk. I think the subject was textiles.
Maybe we can open up for a color question. Is there any color question for Sheila?
So why did you choose this in blue and not, for example, in red or yellow?
I have a yellow one that's floating out there in space already. I don't know which color I'm going to do the next one.
Why did you choose blue today for your textiles?
There was a sale on the shop next to where I live, and they were selling these sweaters. And if you buy one, it's one price. If you buy two, they give you a better price. So I bought 4. And then I put all 4 on top, and I took the train, and then my suitcase was empty. It was easy. And I had 4 of these sweaters in 4 colors. Every day I changed which one I put on top. And I thought, I'm going to be not making competition with this today. I'll stay in this family. Last night I wore Solferino, bright pink, because I thought I'm the guest of honor. I'm going to take advantage of it. So I wore it bright pink and walked around this because it's the contrasting, complementary color. I used to teach color to young architecture students. It was a lot of fun. Some of them are colorblind. And they made the most incredible projects because they were colorblind. They didn't have any prejudice. They never said, like, this color doesn't go with this color. Walk into a shop and someone helps you shop, they'll influence you. This tie does not go with your suit. But if you're colorblind, anything's possible. And if you're an architect and colorblind, you can make lots of fun things. And people will drive the car and they have wrecks. You know, they run into each other because they're so surprised when they come around the corner and see something that they didn't expect. Is there anything that's a wonderful color in this city? It's a building that gives you a feeling? What's this city have as a wonderful color inside the city? The advertising people, what are they selling you? What color these days?
The silver tower. It's only one I see in front of my eyes. It's a silver tower.
Silver tower?
Yeah.
Silver?
Silver, yeah.
And when it rains?
It's silver,
Still silver.
even when it rains. Yeah, it's silver.
We have a red square by Pipilotti-Rist, where like the whole square is covered by red kind of plastic. Like, it's kind of this fabric they use like on sports tracks. You know, and everything is covered, like even the parked car. You have to see it. It's kind
What's
of
the square
all
called?
The red square.
Called, I think, the City Lounge.
It's not the red square.
Not the red square. It's too political.
For me, it's the Rathaus, because it's like a mirror, the building. And so sometimes you see the arrangement in the building. you know. The sky comes, it's like a sky on the building.
There is one just down the road called the Leopard House by some. It was quite controversial when they built it because it's a mix between yellow and black rectangles. Just down the road.
Like checkerboard?
Yeah. You could read it in the newspaper, but I think here in St.Gallen it happens, yeah. Wouldn't be controversial somewhere else, I think.
I was really surprised when I went to Latin America and saw the buildings in Caracas, and then of course in Brazil, and color was very much active in the landscape places. You see color all the time. Then you come back to these other countries where they think people are going to get tired of the color, so they try and stay neutral. Some people have allergy to color, certain colors. They can't stand that color in the room. Did it ever happen to you? No? I'm going to take this. Can I put this around the collar?
Thank you.
This can stay. What's going to happen now? Okay. Okay. Any questions? We have to walk around the space. Why doesn't everybody who's wearing black stand over there? And you're going to see what happens to this room. You're over there. You're black. You have black. Anyone with black, can they stand over here? Can they take a photograph? The black photograph. Hold them.
That's good.
Oh, this navy?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice, huh? He has a black jacket. Look at this. Isn't this impressive? What are you doing there?
Die tragen kein Schwarz. Sprechen Deutsch? Ja. Hier, wir sind Leute, die alle was Schwarzes anhaben.
Meine Seele ist ganz schwarz.
Ah, his soul is black.
He's allowed, right?
Bleiben Sie bei uns.
It's okay if your soul is black, but take off your orange jacket. For just 5 minutes.
Die orangene Jacke ausziehen, ist das okay?
She's black. You could join them.
Okay.
This is a fantastic group photograph. This could be a chorus. This could be a chorus in a wonderful opera. Huh? Close in. Close in. All stand on this white line. This is a photographer of their opportunity. Wonderful. This is the photograph I'm going to use to tell people in Paris about my exhibition in St.Gallen. You've got a scarf on that we don't need. Can you put your scarf in your pocket? 1, 2, 3?
No.
Yeah. It's impressive, isn't it? It's changed the whole room. Look into it.
No, but your work shines brighter now.
This is beautiful. And the light coming in, look at the light coming in from this side. Everybody look at the light. And take one, ready, get set, you're going to take one step forward. Frank, you better get out of here.
Yes,
You see the second line here? With your left foot, take one step to the next line. Good. Move in, closer, there's a hole. So this is the class of 2024 in St.Gallen. And this is all about textile, right? This meeting today is about textile. Does it look serious? I think it's beautiful. It could be an opera. Thank you for being, and they're all free. They're not charging us anything. You who are standing there cannot imagine how beautiful you are. But as a group portrait, this is a memorable group portrait of St.Gallen. Huh? Thank you. Very good. But this is what we are in today. Most people have a tendency toward black. Huh? In their closets, they all have black, in case of question marks of what to wear.
Maybe they're all architects.
Maybe they're all colorblind. Could be. Thank you very much. The hat is important too. So I found this material so adaptable to be able to work, invent, and play, and learn. You know, this material. So being a painter at the beginning, and studying photography, and studying lettering, and studying design, and studying art, all these, but always I was migrating toward this material because it gives you so many opportunities. So many opportunities to observe, to create, and to invent new ideas and new places and new things. So that's my soft spot. Your soul is black. Whose soul is black? I think I just have a natural affinity to this material, so I can't explain it intellectually. Is it okay?
Thank you so much, Sheila. It was a wonderful experience.